Hey everybody, Jon Busdeker here, the Orange County Sheriff's Office Storyteller. Thanks again for joining us for a live tour. I'm also a tour guide. We've been doing this for about a week or so. We've been doing live tours here on Facebook all over our agency. And today we're actually here at the Aviation Section, and I'm super excited about this because at the end of this, we're gonna get to go up in a helicopter and we're gonna ask you to join us. If you've missed some of our Facebook live tours, they're on YouTube. They're also here on Facebook. We've been to the forensics unit. We've been to the mounted stables. We were at fleet management earlier this week. And like I said, today we're here at the Aviation Section. And if you got any questions for us, please comment below, put those questions in there. We'll do the best we can to answer them. I know we get a lot of questions from people and they go pretty fast, but we'll try to answer them. And if you like what you see, feel free to share it because we want people from all over the country and the world really to see what we do here at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. We actually started doing this because we know a lot of kids, a lot of parents are at home right now, and we wanted to show off exactly what we do here at the Sheriff's Office. So like I said, if you got a question, please put it in the comments, share this, like this, tell your friends about it, and if you got any suggestions on where we might go here at the Sheriff's Office, let us know. So, like I said, we're here at the Aviation Section. I'm here with Lieutenant Eddie Appleby. I'm also here with Master Deputy Jason Sams. They're gonna help us get around the Aviation Section today and be our tour guide. Come on up here, guys, come on up. So explain to our audience, what exactly is the Aviation Section?
Yeah, so we're the air support unit for the Sheriff's Office and all the municipalities in Orange County, which includes all the cities, the city of Orlando, Winter Park, Winter Garden, etc., 12 municipalities. So we provide air support services for law enforcement missions for those cities and especially the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
So Lieutenant, mostly, I mean, we have helicopters and we're going to get to see them here in a minute. How did you end up here at the Aviation Section?
A little over a year ago, I came to the Aviation Section. I've been with the Sheriff's Office for 32 years, and I was given the opportunity to show up here. And so this is my new assignment, so I'm here now, and it's a great job.
So what are some of the types of calls that the Aviation Section goes out on?
We answer calls, everything from crimes over with, where we're looking for a suspect, crimes in progress, stolen cars, robberies in progress, missing persons. We respond to those, and we have equipment in the aircraft that help us locate people that are obscured from normal vision.
And Deputy, can you talk about some of that equipment? We're going to show off some of these cameras that they have.
Sure, we have L3 MX10 cameras on the front of the aircraft, and it's a dual camera. It's a daytime camera, just like you see the news media operating for live coverage. And then we have an infrared camera at night, which gives us the ability to find hidden targets trying to elude law enforcement's sight.
How about you, Deputy Sams? How did you end up here in the Aviation Section?
After a career of being a patrol deputy and a detective, I had the fortunate opportunity. I've always had a love for aviation, and I knew this was somewhere I wanted to be at the end of my career. I was fortunate enough to come midpoint of my career.
All right, and I should mention we're actually out at the Orlando Municipal Airport, correct? Executive Airport, I'm sorry. The Executive Airport, kind of off Colonial, McGuire. That's where our Aviation Section is headquartered, so we're not too far from Central Ops, but we're kind of in the middle of the county, which makes it easy for us to get either to the east side or the west side, north or south, so we're centrally located here. So, without further ado, let's show off some of these helicopters and what we got here. You got any questions for us yet, Antoine?
Sure. Floyd and Daisy wants to know how fast can a helicopter go?
Oh, all right. So, Deputy Sams, how fast can a helicopter go?
So, with the equipment on the aircraft, that limits our speed because of drag. We travel about 100 to 125 knots.
All right. Well, how fast is that if I'm driving a car?
We'll catch you.
All right. All right. Let's come on inside. So as you can see, the hangar is pretty big. We have two helicopters here. We actually have a Bearcat here too. I don't know what that's doing here right now. Do they normally park the Bearcat here?
Yeah, so what SWAT does is they keep one of their armored vehicles on the east side and one on the west side.
Okay, when I say Bearcat, it's this green vehicle back over here. We'll walk by that here in a second. So, Lieutenant, why don't you explain what we got here? Talk about some of these helicopters.
Well, we have two.
Come this way. Let the people see your pretty face.
We have two helicopters sitting behind me. One, if you'll notice, it has a 4-blade rotor. That's a Bell 407. Has a little more lift capacity, a little more power. It's probably a little faster. The Bell 206 is around me with the two-bladed rotor system. Basically same airframe. It has a little less power. They both do the same job. It's just you got one that's kind of a sports car and one that's kind of an everyday driver.
Which one's, like, come on in here, Antoine. So wait, this one has 2 blades right here.
Yes.
I counted 2. And then this one has 4 over here. You said which one's the sports car and which one's the everyday car?
The 4-bladed rotor is a sports car.
Okay,
That's the 407.
Does it goes faster?
A little faster, a little stronger, a little better lift capacity. Helicopters lift, not like airplanes and fly. The rotor creates a lift, lifts the aircraft up. So the 4-bladed rotor, a little stronger, it carries more weight, and it's a little faster.
So Deputy Sams, what's the training like? How do you become a pilot? Or you're a flight observer.
Flight officer.
Flight officer. I'm sorry. How do you get into this unit here?
Yeah, so everyone actually starts out as a tactical flight officer, but the requirements are you have to be a street deputy first. You spend your time in the streets. Most people have come from specialty jobs because we just don't serve patrol. We serve all these specialty units within the agency. So being a well-rounded deputy gives you a better chance of becoming a tactical flight officer in aviation.
But do you have to go to school for it, or how do you learn?
So we do all internal training.
Okay.
We do training through other organizations after you've joined the unit, but internally there's a field training program. Basically, it's a 2 semesters of college crammed into a couple of weeks, and then there's an evaluation process over a period of time.
All right, and Lieutenant, how many people work out of this section?
We have a total roster, if you count part-time folks, we're in the neighborhood of 28-ish,
Okay.
give or take. One of the things that's important when Deputy Sams talks about patrol officers are coming from a range of experience, the thing that's important about that is we want a policeman's mentality in the aircraft. When you're running the cameras and you're doing you're doing police work basically from an elevated position. Why that's important is you start to think about bad guys in their flight paths and things like that. You have a better understanding of that. It makes you a better camera operator and better chances of locating bad guys they're trying to hide.
All right. We're going to get really detailed on these, but I want Antoine to just sort of show off kind of the helicopters here. We're going to get inside. We're going to show you all the stuff, but before we do that, we're going to take a tour of sort of the other parts of the section here. Come on this way. Antoine, got any questions for us? I should say, we have Corporal Antoine Daniels behind the camera. Say hello, Antoine.
Good morning again.
So do you have any questions for us?
When you guys are not in the air, what are you guys doing?
Oh my gosh, that leads us perfectly into what we're going to do. But what do you guys do when you're not in the air?
Yeah, so we monitor calls for service that are constantly going on throughout the county. We have logs that we have to do post-flight, documenting our flight. Usually it ends up in having to generate some reports about what we've done, supplement reports to arrests that were made, that sort of thing. We're constantly busy. There's maintenance that has to be done. We have to wash the aircraft. We have to keep the hangar clean. We're busy in 11 and a half hours.
All right. And we're going to show you the maintenance part of the section as well here in a minute. Real quick, Lieutenant, if I wanted to buy a helicopter, how much would it cost me?
Depending on how it's equipped, you could go for as little as 5 to 7 million, up to probably 9 to 11.
Okay, all right.
Depending on what you're getting.
Let's get 2. Why not?
Yeah.
All right, come on. So now we're going to head back into, what do you guys call this? Just the offices, or?
Yeah, we just call it the hangar.
All right, the hangar. Well, come on. Any questions for us, Antoine?
Not so far.
Okay, that's all right. If you got questions, put them in the comments below. Also, if you're just joining us, we're taking a tour of the aviation section here at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. We've been doing live tours all week. We're showing off different parts of our agency. We know a lot of kids and adults are at home right now, so we're trying to give them kind of a glimpse of what we do here at the Sheriff's Office. Come on. All right, so let's go all the way to the front here. I know it just kind of looks like an office right now. Let's head this way. Why don't we start here? So what do we got here, Deputy?
Yeah, this is our locker room. So we keep our flight gear. When we come to and from work, we're deputy sheriff, so we need to have our armor and our deputy sheriff gear, duty belt, that sort of thing.
Why don't we come in here real quick, Antoine? Why don't you show off kind of what we got here?
Yeah, so the lockers is a place that we can secure our weapons when we're not going to and from work. store extra flight suits for those hot days when you flew all morning and now you need a shower to get another flight suit on.
Yeah.
And just other personal items, but our helmets, we store our helmets up there. Everybody has their own individual helmet.
All right.
So you don't necessarily want to wear somebody else's.
Is this your locker right here or somebody else's?
Is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this Liberty Barbershop because it's not too far from here.
Yeah.
Local business here in
local
Orlando.
Business, great haircuts.
Probably not open right now because of the stay-at-home order, but when they do open, go to Liberty. They got good people that work there. All right, let's head this way. Let's see here.
We got a question now from
What do you got?
Ansel Velez.
Okay, what's the question?
How long can a helicopter fly with a full tank?
Okay.
So depending on which model that we're flying, just a general rule of thumb is 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. All right. Later on in this live tour, we're going to go up in one of the helicopters and take a tour of downtown Orlando. We're not going to be up there for 2.5 hours because I get sick after about 20 minutes. And so, all right. So, Lieutenant, where are we now?
This is what I refer to as the ready room. This is the stand down area. If you're not on a flight, you're prepared for a flight, this is where we tend to sit and wait. We have a radio system over there that monitors the channel so we can pay attention to priority calls. And then if you'll notice there's a laptop powered up, that's our mobile dispatch system that we also monitor. So we're paying attention to what goes on during the course of the day with priority calls and routine patrol and able to respond. Oftentimes we respond when we're not asked. We see something, we can get ahead of something, to get ahead of an event, so we do that, and that's what this equipment is for. But everybody's in a standby mode when they're here.
And I've never been a firefighter, but it kind of looks like a firefighter's sort of lounge because I know they got to be on call 24 hours a day. Are you also on call 24 hours a day?
This facility is staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay, and why is that?
Well, because you never know when you might need a helicopter.
That's a very
Police
good
work happens
answer.
24/7.
I was looking at this. Deputy, can you explain what this is right here?
This is actually a weather map.
Okay.
But it's overlaid over a pilot's navigational map.
Okay.
Which we're familiar with. But if it's beautiful outside, but if storms are coming in, we'd be able to see it. So it's key in this room because we have to know exactly when weather's approaching, what the weather's doing. We have to monitor that before we accept a call.
Why is that?
Well, ultimately, we want to get back here. Weather plays a huge part in our operation. The camera, water to a camera is a mirror. So if there's any rain, the camera's not effective at all.
Okay.
So
Can you fly? I mean, can you fly in bad weather?
We can fly in rain and weather. Our minimums are 3 miles of visibility.
Okay.
And rough about 1,200 foot ceilings is where we're going to put it at.
Okay. All right. Well, let's keep moving. What else is there in here? Or should we head out to the maintenance?
Well, the best part is the kitchen, of course.
Okay. Well, there's a full kitchen here as well, and this is where they eat and make coffee, and I think it's being cleaned right now. Hello. Hello.
Miss Georgia.
Miss Georgia. All right.
Miss Georgia is a staple around here.
All right. What kind of any more questions we got for us, H1?
Sure. What type of helicopters do we fly?
Bell 407s and Bell 206.
All right. There you go. All right. Let's head this way. All right, we're gonna head this way. If you're just joining us, we're taking a tour of the aviation section. We're gonna get to the helicopters here in a second. We're gonna get to see all the instruments inside. We're also gonna go up for a ride as well. But we want to show you the maintenance area as well. Okay. All right. Come on.
So we do our own in-house maintenance. So we have 3 maintenance technicians. And right now they're working on Chase 1. Chase 1 just served over the weekend and it's in for its service.
Okay.
Basically, every 50 hours flown, it's getting fluid change, full inspections, and then put back into the rotation. So that's what they're doing now.
Okay, so like you said, we do all our own maintenance here, which is great. It probably cuts down on cost a little bit. We're gonna head this way here. Say hello, you're on Facebook Live.
This is Nick Hilson. He's one of our aviation mechanics. So right now, I saw you were greasing the bolt on top.
Yeah. What are you doing up there?
Doing a fix on the main motor mount.
All right. How long? You have to do this every 50 hours? 50 hours. Yep. Why every 50 hours? Oh, he says the manufacturer says that, so that's why they do it every 50 hours. So you said this is is this the smallest helicopter you
No,
have?
this is another 407.
This is another 407.
Okay, all right.
The thing about the maintenance on these, it isn't like a car. If you have a maintenance problem, you can pull off to the side of the road and take care of it. But you can't park these things just anywhere. And the last place you want to have a mechanical failure is 1,000 feet in the air. That won't work out well. So our maintenance schedule is pretty tight because safety is a big deal. And then if you couple that with FAA regulations, our regulations, the flight of these machines is pretty stringent. So we have to stay on top of it. And if that thing's not spinning or it fails, then it comes out of the sky in a rapid fashion. So we don't want any of that going on.
But you train for that as well. I think a few months ago you invited me out here when you do the training for the tell them about that.
Well, that's the training that we do here. All of our pilots are certified. We do it twice a year. And basically, in the simplest of explanations is, at about 800 to 1,000 feet, they kill the power, and
everything goes off.
Everything goes off. There's no more power going to the rotor, and it starts to fall out of the sky, for lack of a better description. And what happens, and if I get this wrong, feel free to. But what they do is they'll flatten out. These rotor blades have a pitch, and that's what creates the lift. So as the thing starts to fall, you would think you'd put more pitch and create more lift. That's the wrong thing to do, is stall and fall out of the sky. What they actually do is flatten those things out, and the downforce of the helicopter coming with gravity taking effect coming toward the ground spins the rotor fast enough that in the last couple hundred feet they pull the pitch back in, it creates lift, and the helicopter touches down.
Oh, okay, so eventually it comes down, but then you can kind of rock it to the ground, correct?
Yeah, we basically dive it to the ground.
Okay.
At a location that we've picked out. And we have about 1.5 seconds to determine that location and perform the maneuver. But we dive down, and at 50 feet is when we want to bleed the speed off. So you bring the nose up, the force of the wind creates lift, and the aircraft will slide to a stop.
Yeah, and you invited me out for this, and I declined because I didn't want to go down in a helicopter like that.
So taking the ride, it's an experience.
Maybe next time. So why don't you walk me through a call? Let's say a call comes in and there's a stolen vehicle and you get called up. What happens? Maybe just walk me through it.
Yeah, so if we're not already airborne and we're sitting at the hangar and a call comes in, we immediately go out to the hangar bay where our gear is hung up, don on our gear. Usually there's another person here that can start pulling the aircraft out. The flight crew then gets in the aircraft and begins a pre-flight procedures. So we have to follow procedures. You don't turn a key and turn this thing on. There's a start process, which takes several minutes. During that whole time, we're constantly listening to radio to get updates on the call that we're going to. Once the aircraft's up and running and we're ready to leave, we lift off the transporter, we go out into the grass, and we have to ask permission to leave.
Oh, who do you ask permission to?
To the tower. So
okay.
we just can't take off and just go. There's other air traffic flying around, and we have to have permission to leave. And then we'll head to the call.
You got a question for us, Antoine?
Sure, from Steve. How much weight can a helicopter hold?
That's a good question. How much weight can it hold? I weigh about 185. Antoine? You?
I'm 210.
210? Oh, well, you're more muscly than I am.
Yep.
So we're going to go up, so hopefully more than all of us.
Yeah. It's a very broad question, actually, because every helicopter is different. And we've got police equipment on here and other things that make it a little bit more heavier than a normal helicopter. But if we just say people in general, it's easy for us in a 407 to carry four passengers.
Okay, 4 passengers. So we should all be fine up there. So going back to the call, when you get a call and you're up there, you say you're still talking to some communications to see what's going on the ground, because obviously you're not down there.
Yep, so we have police radios in the helicopter, just like in a police car. So we're in full communication with everybody on the ground. We prefer to be airborne when a call comes out. Our apprehension rate dramatically increases because we're already in the sky. We can usually get there before the initial deputies get on the scene. But I have the same radio systems. I'm in communication with them. The tactical flight officer on the aircraft is, if you're working a call for service, say this bank got robbed, The tactical flight officer is the quarterback for everything going on the ground.
Okay, so Lieutenant, real quick, I know we've done some videos on this on the Facebook page, and once again, if you're just joining us, we're here at the Aviation Section. We're doing some repairs behind us. We're going to go up in the helicopter here in a little bit. We're going to show you some details and some instruments inside the helicopter as well. We'll walk over there in just a second. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below. I know we've had people from all over the country who've been watching these videos, so thank you so much. We've done some videos on this. Explain why lasers are dangerous to helicopter pilots.
A laser shot from the ground at an aircraft, it does a couple of things. One of the things they notice quickly is it comes into the cockpit, bounces around off all the glass and everything that's in the cockpit. It's in the pilot and the TFO's eyes. It makes it hard to operate the equipment. If they're wearing night vision, that makes it even worse. When we fly at nighttime, sometimes we're wearing night vision. But that laser bounces around. It's not just a beam that you can see. That beam has an end to it. And when it gets inside of an aircraft and it bounces around the instrumentation inside there, it's actually blinding to the pilot. And think about it. You're in an aircraft and now you can't see what you're doing.
Yeah, even if it's for a second or 2 seconds or 3 seconds, that's an
very,
eternity.
It's a very complicated piece of equipment. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. The pilot and the TFO have to be paying attention every second of the flight. And you shoot a laser in there, and it not only is disorienting, but it's blinding as well. And now they've lost that sensory factor of understanding what's going on with the aircraft.
Yeah.
And depending on altitude and where they are and obstacles around, that could really be a bad day at the office.
And I bring that up because I've seen people say, well, it's just a little light. I mean, you know, they're just complaining about it. I've seen what happens when it gets shined up there and it's blinding. So it's very, very, very dangerous. It's the reason it's a felony to point a laser at a helicopter. All right, so why don't we head back over to the hangar and we can show off the helicopter that we have here. So any questions for us, Antoine?
Sure. How long can you fly before the fuel becomes an issue?
Okay, yeah, all right.
2.5 hours.
So 2.5 hours is how long they can stay up in the air. And generally, you know, you got to come back here to refuel. I assume you don't wait till the 2.5 hours is up.
It just depends on where we're at in relation to the airport.
What about fuel? What kind of fuel goes into a helicopter?
Jet fuel.
Okay.
Yeah. But we also have credit cards in the aircraft, so if we're in a pursuit and we end up in Daytona, we can land at the Daytona International Airport, get gas, and come back home.
Really? I had no idea. So you just run your credit card and say, we're going to top it up here?
Well, not my credit card. Shana's credit card.
All right. Let's head in. How much does it cost to fill up the tank of a helicopter?
It all varies on fuel prices.
Okay. How about right now? Fuel prices are low right now.
I can tell you. Honestly,
How much is average, though?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know? No? All right.
It comes out of that truck over there. That's what I know.
Okay. All right. Any more questions, Antoine?
No, so far, no.
Okay, if you got questions, type them in below. We're heading inside the hangar. We're going to show you a close-up of one of our helicopters, and then we're going to go up in one of the helicopters. All right, thank you guys.
So this is our flight gear.
Okay.
So we get a call, and we're here. We need to gear up. So I wear a flight vest. Myself and the pilots wear a flight vest, and this is a flotation device.
Oh, okay.
So if I pull this handle right now, it's going to explode.
Oh,
So
don't do that.
But we have air bottles for emergency landings in water. The aircraft is going to roll upside down because the weight's on top, and it's going to fill with water. So I need to get out. So this is an air bottle. Gives you roughly 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes of air. And then survival equipment, flashlights, tourniquet, and some medical equipment for if we did have an emergency, or if we get called to let's say an injured hiker out in the St. John's, and our helicopter is the only person to get to it, we can use medical kits on the helicopter. The TFO will get out and render medical aid until we can get some help there. We fly with flight helmets.
I see you have the University of Georgia helmet. Why is that?
I'm a fan.
Okay. Go Dogs.
That's right. So our flight helmets is our communication. So our ears go inside the ear cups, and there's speakers in there. That's how we talk to each other. I hear the radios, that sort of thing. Speak through a mic. It's got some night lights on it. for the sea
Oh.
inside the aircraft at night. Just like Top Gun, you've got your nighttime shield and your daytime shield.
Ah, nice.
That is sun protection, but the purpose of these are birds.
Really?
So we're constantly flying where birds fly, and we're doing 130 miles an hour. And if a bird hits the windshield at 130 miles an hour, that's a missile at your face.
Ah.
So we fly with our shields down to protect our eyes.
So in case the glass breaks.
It's going to break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're
All
going
right.
to come through.
So you had mentioned this earlier, a TFO and a pilot. What's the difference between those two jobs?
Both deputy sheriffs, the pilot's main responsibility is the safe operation of the aircraft. The TFO's main responsibility is the law enforcement mission.
Mm-hmm.
We both work together, so we both share aviation responsibilities, and we both share law enforcement responsibilities. The pilot's role is to deliver the TFO and the TFO's equipment to a scene to begin to work the call, and then they both work together to locate the person we're looking for.
Okay, so the pilot kind of pilots the helicopter, and then I'm just using you as an example. You might be looking on the ground to see kind of what's out there. If you're looking for a car, you're looking for a person, you're looking through, you know, the camera and the night vision, and then you're telling the pilot, hey, that person's over there, we need to go over there, we
Correct.
need to shine the light here, or whatever.
Correct. And
Okay.
and the pilot is on night vision goggles, and so there's points where he can look out the window and search on his side with his night vision goggles while I search an opposite area with the camera.
Okay.
And we're constantly, as we're searching and looking through our systems, we're constantly scanning systems of the aircraft to make sure it's working properly and we're at the right altitudes and airspeeds and all that stuff.
All right, I mentioned earlier we're going to go up in the helicopter here in a little bit. Excited for that. We had to sign some waivers as well. I had to get the whole safety rundown of, you know, if this thing goes in the water, every man for himself on that one. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But I wanted to ask you when, you know what? I forgot the question, so let's just go out this way.
Well, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Sierra wants to know, what do you like to do while you're waiting to fly?
Oh, yeah, when you're hanging out, you're not up there in the aircraft, what do you like to do?
Food.
Oh, you like to eat?
Yeah, no, we like to eat. We do work out, so aircrew fitness is very important. You want a fit person operating an aircraft over your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So we do a fitness program here, so we will work out. But man, there's a lot of stuff that we have to do. You're always having to write a report for something, and there's all kinds of things.
Yeah, this thing, it isn't all just about flying. There's as much work goes, as much more work goes on the ground than what goes on in the air. And every time one of these things launch and comes back, there's a multitude of tasks that have to be done to get it flight ready for the next time around, and then document all of the work that we've done and whether there's reports or whatever. So they call it a hangar, but we're not necessarily hanging out.
That's some aviation humor for you there.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that takes place here, even if those things are sitting on transport. There's still a lot of work to do.
So I remember my question now. My question was going to be, I know we're going up in the aircraft here in a little bit. I mentioned that I get a little air sick sometimes. Like I can hang for about 20, 30 minutes and then I start to feel it. Do either of you ever get air sick or seasick when you're up there?
No.
All
Normally,
right, you're a better man than me.
yeah. Normally, if you start to get air sick, you're going to figure that out in your initial training phase, and this probably isn't the job for you.
What tell me the advice though of
I've
if you do.
experienced it a time or two, and I tend to do it to myself. If I'm looking at the camera screen and looking out of the window, and I do that too quickly, it's a motion sickness thing. But one of the ways I solve it is I quit for just a second. It only takes a few seconds, and I look out across the horizon. That seems to settle things down. So,
Yeah.
You know, maybe some people have the same issue I do, maybe some of them don't. But I've learned how to mitigate those effects simply by just slowing down the eye movement and the focus from one thing to the other. And I think, you know, you can do the same thing riding in a car if you're not careful.
That's true.
So
That's true. But like you said, if you are prone to that, this might not be the job for you.
Well, we got bags for you.
Okay. All right. Hopefully, I won't have to use that. All right. Let's head this way. Any questions for us, Antoine?
Sure. Who determines where and when the aircraft can land?
All right. Let's put it this way. So before we answer that question, they're gonna take the helicopter out because this is the one we're gonna go up in here in a little bit, and we'll let him kind of go because it's a little bit loud. Maybe Antoine can show you around here real quick. We got the Orange County Sheriff's logo right here. As I said earlier, we got the Bearcat, which is on the right here. This is one of our SWAT vehicles that they store over on this side of the county. You said they have 2 of these?
They do.
Okay.
And this is what we go to Wawa and get our subs.
Oh, okay. And they take this over to Wawa, and they got to put all those big subs in the back there. Antoine, what was that question again?
Sure. Who determines where and when the aircraft can land?
Yes. Oh,
Land?
yeah, land. So who determines where it can land? I know you would land here.
Right.
But let's say you got to land somewhere else.
It's a crew decision.
Okay.
Yep. Honestly, we can land this at a Best Buy parking lot if we wanted to.
Okay.
But it's a crew decision, and depending on where we're at and where we need to go, we're typically going to choose an airport.
So how much space do you need then to land?
A cul-de-sac.
Okay, just a cul-de-sac. So as long as there's something open down there and there's nobody around, hopefully you can land it.
Yep, the width of the blade.
Okay. All right. So let's head in the front.
I'll go around.
Okay. So let's Antoine, why don't you go up here? It's kind of a tight space, so why don't you get in there, Antoine? So Deputy Sams, explain what we're looking at here.
Yeah. So this is the cockpit of the aircraft. Both pilot and TFO set up front. And the pilot sits in the seat that I'm in, the TFO sits on the left. They're tight. We fly shoulder to shoulder throughout the flight. And there's not much room for movement. So after a 2-hour flight, you're exhausted, you're cramped, because you've got controls by your feet, if you can catch that, Antoine. Controls by your feet, controls between your legs, and controls on the side. So you can't really move around and adjust. So you learn little techniques to stop the soreness. But right now I've got the camera system on, and right now it's in the day camera mode. So just for fun, we'll look out to the Suntrust building at downtown Orlando. And the Suntrust building right now is about 3.1 miles away. And I'll zoom in on it.
That shows you how close you can get to seeing it.
Yeah, and the waves that you're seeing right now is actually the heat rising from the ground that's causing those waves. But if I zoom out, these are apartment buildings. If any viewers are out there right now, step out and wave. We will see you. But yes, that's 3.1 miles away.
And why do you need that? Why do you need such a good camera?
Well, a lot of times we're trying to find somebody, or we have found someone, and we want to keep a distance off for tactical reasons. Or if we're trying to catch up to a pursuit, I want to be able to see it in the distance, get it on camera, and fly to it. So right now I'll turn it on infrared mode. So this would be nighttime infrared. White is hot, black is cold. So if I come around, I should pick up
Oh.
you guys.
I'm probably all white because I'm so hot, right? Am I right?
So the dark areas, LT, move over.
Which way?
So the dark areas on the lieutenant's uniform
Oh.
are cold, and his skin is white.
Oh.
And then
And so what good is that for when at night?
so at nighttime, this gives us the ability to look for hot targets, and a lot of people like to hide under things, and we can pull out those hot targets. The system is also our mapping system, so I'll try to show you an example of this. So this is a flight that's on the recorder.
Oh, okay. So this is one you did before.
Yeah, so this was probably yesterday or the day before. And the mapping system, you can see the streets are named, a lake is named. I'm trying to fast forward to get over a neighborhood. See how the streets show up? If it zooms in, it's going to show house numbers. And that's how we direct deputies to locations, or we find locations. So when I give an address, let's say I find a suspect hiding at 2500 West Colonial Drive, it tells me 2500 West Colonial Drive.
Can you go over some of the instruments here and some of the dials?
Yeah, so this side of the aircraft is the pilot's responsibility mainly. These are all engine and transmission gauges, airspeed, our rotor RPM, altitude. These are all instruments for the engine, transmission, fuel load. And then this is the GPS mapping system and the horizon indicator with a GPS system in there. And then all the radio systems are down here. when we fly, we listen to 6 radios at one time. So we listen to 2 aviation radios and then 1, 2, 3, 4 police radios.
Any questions?
Sure. What would happen if you guys have an emergency during flight and can't make it back to the executive airport?
So several things. If the emergency allows us to continue to fly, but we know we are not going to make it back, we're going to coordinate with ground units to secure us a safe landing zone to land in. If the emergency is preventing flight, we literally have about 18 seconds. There's no coordination. We're going to pick a point and go for it.
Huh. Any more questions?
Sure. How many times do you fly each day?
Oh, it all depends. It varies. Your Fridays, Saturdays, we can log easily 8 to 13 hours of flight time amongst a 24-hour period. Some days are slower than others, but there's not a day that doesn't go by with good weather that we don't spend probably 4 to 5 hours in the sky.
All right, you want to go for a flight?
Let's go.
All right. So Antoine, here, I'll come down here. So we're going to go up in the aircraft here in a few minutes. It's going to take a few minutes to sort of get everything ready. I'll just show you one more time. Here's one of the helicopters. We're going to go up in a different one. But if you're just joining us, we took a tour today of the aviation section here at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. If you got questions, please type them in. We'll try to answer as many as we can. If we don't get to them, I'll try to get to them after this live feed ends, and we'll go back and answer those questions. We've done a few of these Facebook Live videos so far this week. We've gone to the mounted stables, we've gone to forensics, we've gone to the fleet management. We're here today at the aviation section, but we're gonna get ready to go up into a helicopter. We're gonna take a tour of downtown Orlando. So that means I need to put on a helmet. Antoine, who's behind the camera, he's gonna put on a helmet. We're gonna get ready. It's probably gonna be 5, 10, 15 minutes of this tour, I would say, maybe a little shorter. We can't talk during it because it's so loud in the helicopter. And so what we're gonna do is when we're done with this, we're gonna say kind of bye, but we're gonna let the camera go, but you won't hear us talking because it's just too loud up there. And so we are gonna show you kind of how this gets ready. We'll do the best we can. We're probably gonna have to switch off the camera as we put our helmets on and get ready for the tour of downtown Orlando. But don't go anywhere because you're gonna get to see Orlando from above here in a minute.
We're going to put you in headsets.
Okay.
I'll get you buckled in, strapped in.
All right, so we'll head out here. Antoine, are you ready for a helicopter?
I'm ready.
All right, are you scared?
Not too much.
A little bit he's scared. All right, any more questions for him?
Sure. Do each officer go through the same training as far as a TFO and a pilot?
Yeah, all the pilots were TFOs before they became assigned pilots to the unit.
Okay, all right.
But yes, everybody goes through the same training.
Good question. You got another one?
And another question is, how many times a day do you guys fly?
Okay, good question.
think
How
Jason's-
often do you go up in the helicopter?
That depends on calls for service. It could be as little as 1 or 2, or it could be as many as every hour.
Okay.
It depends on what kind of law enforcement activity is going on and where we need it. We go as needed.
Depending if there's a lot of crime that day or a little bit of crime that day, that's how often you go up in the helicopter.
Yes.
All right. We like to only go up 1 or 2 times.
You're
We'd
right.
rather do that.
Yeah, sometimes it's required, more is required.
All right, so we're headed to this helicopter right here. They took it out of the hangar. They brought it over here. We're gonna get strapped into this, Antoine and I, and then we're gonna take off and go on a tour of downtown Orlando. We're not going anywhere. Stay tuned. We can't talk during it because it's gonna be super loud, but you'll get to see how this all works. You got any more questions, Antoine?
Kimberly Glass wants to know, can we fly by the Seaside building? And she'll say hi.
Oh, where's the Seaside? Is it? Well, that's downtown, right?
Kimberly, is that downtown?
If it's downtown, we might be able. You might see us here in a few minutes. All right. We'll see what we can do.
One of you step up here.
All right, I'll go in first. All
Okay.
right?
And then I'll get the headset you're going to have. Let me show you how you bring this over.
Yes.
Okay, so you're good there.
Okay. I'll head in first.
Put it here
Okay.
behind you, and I'll make sure you're strapped in. Have a seat.
You want me to get in here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. I got my trusty hand sanitizer here.
Those bags we were talking about right here, just in case.
Here, let me
just in case.
So here's the puke bag, the vomit bags. I was trying to be nice there, in case I get sick. Like I said, I think we can do 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure the strap is pulled snug.
Okay.
Okay. And make sure you're
all good.
Your headset's right behind you.
All right.
And then you know how this works?
Yes.
Okay. Get you untangled here.
There we go. I'm glad you're here.
Actually, put this on the other side. There you go.
There we go.
Lay in your lap. That goes on. This is your mic.
This way.
Yes, sir.
All right. There we go.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Now this
and
is
then
pulled down.
This has to
and
go
that's
right
a
here.
power system. Now, when you want to talk, if you pull it down, it sticks. That opens it up. You want the momentary side.
Okay.
So
it's not on yet, right?
Not on yet. Okay.
All right.
Now it's your turn.
All right. So wait, I'll take the camera here. We got to switch off here right now. I know I look really cool right now. At least I feel like I look really cool. All right. This is what I'm seeing right now. This is sort of the. We're kind of in the back seat right now. Here, I'm going to try to flip the camera around. So we are getting ready to take off here. We're going to go on a tour of downtown Orlando. It should be about a 5-10 minute tour, but we're not going to be able to talk during that time because it's really, really, really loud here in the helicopter. So I'm going to move the camera over to Antoine so you can see him getting in. How you feeling here, Antoine?
Feeling good, bro.
Feeling good? All right.
It's not shaking or anything.
Not yet. I was telling Antoine earlier that one of the last times I was in a helicopter, I was above I drive in one of those helicopters. So I feel much safer in this one.
Okay, here we go. This one. This is your mic.
All right, so right now here, I'm going to switch it back over here to Deputy Sams. He's sort of getting things ready up front there. I saw that somebody wanted us to go by their building near Church Street, so we'll see what we can do. If you see a helicopter up there, here, let me switch the camera around for you. If you see a helicopter down by Church Street, downtown Orlando here in about the next 5-10 minutes, it's going to be us. In about 2 minutes, it's probably going to be way too loud for me to talk. And so you might just kind of see us showing off downtown Orlando. But if you're seeing this right now, thank you so much for joining us for the live tour. We're going to be going up and away here in a little bit. So I'm going to flip it over to the other one and we'll talk to you soon. But hopefully you can just watch this. Thank you. All right, so if you guys can hear us right now, hold on one second. I can hear you, yeah, I'm good. All right, we're gonna be going up in a helicopter here in a second. I don't know if you can hear me or not. It's pretty loud in here. And so if you can hear me, maybe comment below if you can hear us. If you can't, just tell us that you can't hear us. But we're gonna show you downtown Orlando from a helicopter here in a few minutes. Here, I'm gonna switch the camera back here. All right, Antoine's ready. Oh, all right. So my wife says that she can hear us, which is great. So can you hear me, Antoine?
Yes.
All right. So here, wait, we'll get in here together. So Antoine and I, hey, we're gonna be going up here in a helicopter. If you're just joining us, we are going to take a tour of downtown Orlando. We took a tour today of the Aviation Section here at the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and we are going to show downtown Orlando here in a minute. But if you missed the whole live feed, we're going to repost it on YouTube. You can also go back on Facebook. And anyway, I'm going to show you the pilots right now. So here's the pilots, and they're getting ready to take off here. About 5-10 minutes, and we'll do the best we can to show you what we see here in the take off here. All right. So what you're looking at right now, that's actually a fuel truck. Here is our pilot and our TFO, our tactical flight officer. We got Antoine next to me here. He's still giving the thumbs up. Oh, and we just left the ground. So if you can hear me, we are headed, just leaving the executive airport right now, and we are pulling away, and we should be in downtown Orlando in the next 5 or 10 minutes. We just finished up a tour of the Orange County Sheriff's Office Aviation Section, and if you got any questions, you can type them below. I don't know if I know the answers to them, and if I do, I'll try to answer, but if not, we'll try to answer them afterwards. Oh, here we go. Right now we are kind of near Colonial. You can see Fashion Square Mall right now. There's the Target right at McGuire and Colonial. A lot of the shops, there's no cars there because a lot of things are closed right now. So we're gonna head downtown Orlando and check that out. I'm gonna move you over here. So Antoine, why don't you take that for a second? Show them over there. On your left, we're coming up to downtown Orlando here in a second, and Lake Eola is going to be coming into view here in a minute. I think right now we're kind of going over the Milk District, and you can kind of see the 408 in the distance. I'm going to take the camera from Antoine here. We're going to... so here's downtown Orlando. See the court, the Ninth Circuit Court. Lake Eola is right underneath us right now. So you can see Lake Eola. We're coming near Orange Avenue and Pine Street and Church Street. So there's the Seaside building, as we said we would go by. You can see the downtown UCF campus right now, and we're headed over. The Amway Center is going to be coming up here on your left, and you can see the Orlando City Soccer Stadium, Exploria Stadium as they call it now. All right, we're going to shift. We're going to let Antoine take it. So you're looking down I-4 right now, and I think Lake Man. Is that Lake Man right there?
That is Lake Man.
Look way out there, you can see the Orlando Eye. So if you look back over this way, you can see Exploria Stadium, and this is Paramore right here. You can see the federal courthouse in the distance a little bit. That's all of downtown Orlando. Here, I'm going to shift it a little bit. There's downtown Orlando right there. Oh, hello, Joanna. Looking at, let's see, you're looking at the downtown UCF campus right now, and let's see here, you can see the Lynx bus station, Orange Avenue in the distance. This is downtown Orlando that you're looking at. If you're just joining us, we're on a tour of downtown Orlando during our, sounds good. All right, we're going to take one more lap of downtown Orlando, just so if you're just tuning in. We've been doing a live tour of the Aviation Section here at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You can see I-4 construction right now. If you look closely, that's the Orlando Sentinel building right below us. And that's the Ninth Circuit Court. You can see Lake Eola in the distance. So the pilot's saying, if you look way out, you can see the vehicle assembly building at NASA, but you really can't see that on a phone here. But you're probably seeing Lake Eola right now, and the band shell and the fountain. And we're just taking a tour of downtown Orlando. We're going to do one more lap around while we're on this tour of the aviation section. As you can see, our pilots are doing their thing up front there, and our TFO is making sure we're safe and sound up here. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've had a blast going up here in the helicopter and showing off what we do here at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. If you like this, share it, because we want people all over, not just the county, but the country, to know what we do at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. You can actually see the Orange County Administration Building right below us right now. That's where Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings works during the day. And so we're going right by 55 West right now, and we're crossing over Interstate. You can see the Amway Center right below us. A little faded on the top. They might need to paint that here pretty soon. You got Exploria Stadium right there on the left. That's where the Orlando City Soccer plays their home games. They've been off since the coronavirus. All sports are, but looks like they're still mowing the grass down there. Right below us is Paramore. And let's see if I can see downtown UCF in the distance. I'm going to shift it up here a little bit. I'm going to try to move over here. Maybe Antoine can show us Camping World Stadium over there on the left. So that's Camping World Stadium. Now they're doing some repairs in the park over there right next to it. Look off in the distance, you can see the Orange County Sheriff's Office Central Ops is right there. That's where Antoine and I work most days. But if you're looking now, you're looking west on Colonial Drive. I think we got the Orlando Country Club right there. You can see a golf course. If you look way in the distance, you can see my house. I won't tell you which one's my house, but I live in College Park. So that's Edgewater Drive right there. We're looking at Lake Ivanhoe. You can see Advent Health over there in the distance, and the Orlando Science Center. Let's see what else we got here. So that's Ivanhoe Village over there. That's Prep is coming up here on our right. I think like most schools right now, they're not going to school right now. They're doing online learning. But that's Lake Highland Prep. If you look way in the distance, you can kind of see Rollins College and Winter Park, but it's pretty far off out there. I'm going to come back over here. So now we are headed away from downtown Orlando, and below us, I believe, is Colonial Drive, and that's an elementary school over there. We're heading back to the executive airport because we did 2 tours of downtown Orlando and took a tour of the aviation section. Thank you so much for watching. We had a really great time checking out the aviation section and doing this tour. If you like what you see, share it, like it, and tell your friends about it. If you're seeing right now, this is the Colonial Shopping Center. There's Marshalls and Ross. Everything's pretty much closed right now because they're non-essential businesses. So we're headed back to the executive airport. We did our 2 tours of downtown Orlando. Thank you so much for joining. I'm actually going to flip the camera around here and wrap this up. So, as I said, thank you so much. Antoine, did you have a good time?
Good time.
Antoine loved it. I loved it. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time when we do a Facebook Live tour. I think we have at least one more planned. We're going to be back at the Central Ops here pretty soon, and we're going to show you our supply, which is where we get all of our gear. So thank you so much. Thanks to all the folks in the aviation section who let us be on this tour, and we'll see you next time. Follow us on Facebook.